For all of human history, we've thought about peace in one way. It's something you negotiate, right? It's a fragile deal built on politics and trust. But what if that entire approach is just wrong? What if peace isn't something you achieve through talking, but something you engineer through physics?
I mean, really let that sink in for a second. Instead of trying to convince everyone not to fight, what if we could build a reality where fighting itself just stops working? Imagine a world where all the tools of war, the missiles, the drones, the jets, are made totally useless the moment they're deployed.
Well, that is the core concept behind something called the peace machine. It's a single piece of tech that doesn't just win wars, it makes the very idea of war obsolete. So, yeah, let's dive right in and see how this could even be possible.
All right, so how does something like this actually work? We're not talking about another treaty or some global movement, no. We are talking about a very specific piece of hardware, a technology built for one purpose, to make aggression physically futile.
Okay, so here's the machine itself. At its heart, it's a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, which basically gives it an almost endless supply of energy. And all that power gets channeled into these, well, they're called Petawatt-class lasers. Now, to give you an idea of what that means, a petawatt is 1 million billion watts. That is an insane amount of energy. It's an intensity so extreme it can disable engines, blind sensors, and just, poof, vaporize threats at the speed of light.
And you can see right away this is a total paradigm shift. I mean, think about it. For thousands of years, peace has been all about cooperation, about treaties and agreements that, let's be honest, often break. This whole idea throws that out the window. It's peace through capability. It's a system that doesn't rely on trust, but on the cold, hard, unbreakable laws of physics.
So let's really get into the mechanics here. How can one single machine completely rewrite thousands of years of military strategy? Simple. It makes offense a totally useless concept.
This is how it does it. When the peace machine turns on its laser grid, it creates what the source material calls a peace bubble. Now, this isn't like a force field from a movie. It's not a wall. Think of it more like a zone where the fundamental physics of conflict just collapse. Inside that bubble, aggression literally stops working. So someone launches a missile, bam, it's neutralized instantly. The skin just evaporates, the guidance system is completely fried, it stops being a threat before you'd even know it was launched. What about those drone swarms, the new face of warfare? All their tiny little microchips fail at the exact same time. They just drop right out of the sky, totally inert. A fighter jet tries to fly into the bubble, its sensors go blind, its electronics are jammed, the engine parts literally start to fuse together, the pilot has no choice but to turn back. See? Offense is now impossible. And here is the absolute key difference. The whole game shifts from destruction to disablement. There are no bombs going off, no explosions, and, this is the big one, 0 casualties. Instead of a giant crater in the ground, you just get a melted engine. Instead of a pilot losing their life, you get a blinded sensor. The goal is never to kill anyone. It's just to make the weapons stop working. It is, in effect, absolute deterrence. Okay, just take a second and actually imagine that world. If conventional kinetic warfare is just gone, taken off the table completely, the ripple effects would be absolutely staggering. So let's look at what would happen first. Just look at that number, $20 trillion. The source material calculates that if you add up all the military spending in the world, the cost of war damages, and just the general economic drag from conflict, you get to over $20 trillion every single year. That is the amount of human value we are currently setting on fire. So what happens to all that money, all that brain power, all that effort that's now liberated? It flows into the things that actually build a civilization. We're talking AI systems, massive medical breakthroughs, space colonization, global infrastructure, you name it. Suddenly, all the grand challenges we're facing, they start to look solvable because we're not busy pouring all our resources into figuring out new ways to destroy each other. And that's really the core of it, right? Peace, in this model, isn't just about stopping the fighting. It's not just the absence of a negative. It becomes the single greatest accelerant for human progress we've ever seen. You don't just stop the bleeding, you unlock this incredible, unprecedented positive future. But let's be real, a change this big, it's not going to happen without a fight. I mean, an entire global order is built on the business of war. And you can bet the people who profit from that system are not just going to roll over and give it up. Just think about it. Who loses everything in a world without war? Defense contractors, weapons traffickers, rogue states, authoritarian regimes, terror groups. For all of them, a machine that makes war impossible isn't a miracle. No way. It's an existential threat. Because the moment their weapons become useless chunks of metal, all their power, all their influence, it just evaporates.
So of course they try to fight back. They would throw everything they have at this thing. The latest hypersonic missiles, AI-powered swarms, the best stealth drones. But none of it would matter. And here's why. You can't outrun the speed of light. You can't hide from an AI that can scan every single photon in the sky in real time. Every single countermeasure they could dream up would be obsolete in milliseconds.
There's a quote in the source material that just nails it. You cannot build an army to fight light. Light always wins. And that's the point. The fight isn't between two armies anymore. It's between human weapons and the basic laws of physics. And that's a battle that was decided the moment the machine was switched on.
So what happens next? After all that resistance just fades away, after this new reality sinks in, what do we as a species become? What do we even do once our oldest and most destructive habit is finally, truly broken?
Well, it would spark this profound psychological shift. See, for our entire history, humanity has been optimizing for one thing: survival. Survival in a world of constant threat. But when you take that fundamental threat away, our whole operating system changes. We can stop optimizing for conflict and start optimizing for growth. We stop thinking about who controls what bit of territory and start thinking about genuine exploration. We switch from a mindset of destruction to one of pure, unbridled creativity. And when you combine that new mindset with those trillions of dollars in resources we're no longer wasting, you kick off what the source calls the Great Building Age. All those things that sound like wild science fiction right now, megacities, global hyperloop grids, cities on Mars and bases on the moon, they stop being dreams and start being the practical engineering projects for the next generation to solve. And really, it all boils down to this one question that completely rewires humanity. For centuries, so many of our greatest innovations were driven by the fear of being destroyed. But this new paradigm, it's driven by a totally different impulse. The question is no longer, how do we survive? It's, if nothing can kill us, what can we create? And that's the idea we're going to leave you with. The concept of the peace machine, when you really get down to it, isn't about a weapon. Not at all. It's about a turning point. It's a doorway to a future where we finally stop focusing on how to destroy each other and turn all of our energy toward building what comes next. It suggests that maybe peace was never meant to be the end goal. Maybe it's just the starting line.